Okay, I find a question. Is it water level fluctuation will affect on boiler efficiency or not? Okay, fantastic question. I would like to share that water level fluctuation will actually affect the output of the boiler. The consistency of the steam pressure and the consistency of the quality of the steam that is going may get affected if you are depending again on the water quality, but then it does not affect the efficiency. Okay, so efficiency क्या होता है? As I said, heat input, heat output. आप जितना भी हीट डाल रहे हो डिपेंडिंग ऑन द लॉसेस हीट आउटपुट मिलेगा आपको, बट आपका फ्लक्चुएशन के हिसाब से स्टीम जो बाहर निकलता है दैट कैन वेरी, बट स्टीम के अंदर जितना हीट रहता है दैट इज going to be in line with the efficiency of the boiler. So efficiency is not going to vary. It is going to impact your cost of operation. Okay, so we will touch upon these components of cost of operation in the coming webinar. Please be hook on to it and log in into it. How to measure economizer efficiency? Okay, now economizer is just a component. Okay, now economizer efficiency अगर आप देखेंगे, you have to measure only two parameters. What is the inlet temperature of the flue gas and what is the O2 level at the inlet, and you have to measure what is the outlet temperature of the flue gas, what is the O2 level at the outlet. Okay, now why O2 level? O2 level actually is going to show you what is the amount of volume of flue gas you are having. So if you measure these two things, then you will know what is the heat absorbed within the economizer, and hence you can calculate what the efficiency is. It is only a component efficiency that can be done very easily. Is condensing economizer boiler efficiency is claimed as 102%? Does it mean boiler is generating self heat? Wow, fantastic question. Okay, now boiler does not generate self heat. What it means is, as I said, the efficiency losses as considered by the designers are four parameters. Moisture, stack loss, surface loss, and all these things. Yeah. Stack loss में क्या होता है? Stack loss में there is something called as latent heat. जैसे steam के अंदर latent heat होता है, उधर भी latent heat है. Condense करने से they will be able to extract the latent heat also. Fuel का जो H2O में convert हुआ, H2O steam में convert हुआ. So we are bringing that entire latent heat also back to the boiler. Okay, so the calculation wise it becomes 102%. It is not energy efficiency, it is only boiler efficiency. Okay, so energy efficiency can never be more than 100. In fact, it is not even close to 70, 80 if you really look at the energy component. It is only because of the boiler efficiency calculation you will feel like 102%. From the calorific value of the fuel, if you are calculating from the calorific value of the fuel, yes, it is 102%. That's true, because you are taking the latent heat away from the flue gas. I hope that answers, because it is little more complex. It is more technical than from the operating perspective. Okay, next question is ideal stack temperature range with economizer instead in great boiler where load can vary. Okay, the ideal stack temperature, be it an economizer or be it an air preheater, it is dependent on the fuel. Now, what are the constituents of the fuel? Based on that, we decide what is the stack temperature. Because end of the day, it is a balance between the damage that can happen to the chimney, the fans, or the ducting because of condensation, and then it's a balance of the amount of power consumed by your ID fan and the temperature which we can bring it down for an economical design. So it's a balance of all these three. Generally 160 to 170 degrees should be good enough. I don't think anything lesser than that really makes sense. If it is going less than 160, I'm sure the cost of your ID fan goes up, and so whatever you are going to save because of the fuel, you are going to end up in the power consumption. So ideal stack temperature should be somewhere around 160 to 170. Boiler manufacturer always commit output and efficiency at water temperature of 100 degrees centigrade. How it affects on the efficiency? Oh, okay. This is fantastic. In fact, these are two different parameters. Efficiency अलग है, output अलग है. Okay. Boiler manufacturer जब भी बोलते हैं output from and at 100 degree centigrade. Okay. This actually calls for a session of 15-20 minutes to understand ये क्यों है. But मैं अगर simple terms में बोलना चाहता हूँ. What does from and at? In the case boiler का जो capacity दिया जाता है, if you take water at 100 degree centigrade, that is from 100 degree centigrade, and if you generate steam at 100 degree centigrade, okay, then whatever is the heat that you are going to get, it is based on that amount of heat. That is why they say from 100 degree centigrade at 100 degree centigrade 2000 kg per hour. Okay, now 2000 kg per hour from and at 100 degree centigrade is the latent heat of vaporization. अगर आप पानी का प्रॉपर्टीज याद करेंगे तो when ice is heated from 0 degree till 100 degrees it will remain as water. सिर्फ टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है, बट 100 डिग्री के बाद टेम्परेचर नहीं बढ़ता है. 100 डिग्री के बाद लिक्विड वाटर में कन्वर्ट होना चालू होता है. सो दिस अमाउंट लिक्विड स्टीम में कन्वर्ट होना चालू होता है. So this amount of heat that is required for conversion is constant. Okay, that is a property of water. वो दुनिया में आप किसी भी जगह पे जाके देख लीजिए, पानी अगर 100 डिग्री से पानी 100 डिग्री पे स्टीम का कन्वर्ट हो रहा है, the heat taken is same and that is called latent heat of vaporization. For the standardization of the boiler, कोड ने इसको स्टैंडर्ड माना. ये latent heat of vaporization जो दुनिया में किधर भी चेंज नहीं होता है, उसको रेफरेंस माना, and all the designs are done based on that. So that has nothing to do with the efficiency. Okay, अगर anything that gets affected is the capacity of the boiler. Okay, अगर आप 30 डिग्री पानी दे रहे हो तो steam जो है, because you never give water at 100 degrees and take steam at 100 degrees. Both are not reality. You always give water less than 100 degree, or sometimes if you are having deaerator more than 100 degree. But you always draw steam at a higher pressure. It is never at 100 degree. You are going to draw steam at 6 kg, 9 kg, 12 kg, and much higher than that. So it's at a higher pressure. So that is not the real actual operation. So your capacity of the output of a boiler can come down, but not efficiency. It does not affect efficiency. Efficiency is simply heat output divided by heat input, and that conversion is always as committed by the manufacturer. That would not vary. Is it advisable to have surface blowdown for low pressure boiler? Okay, now as far as advice is concerned, it depends on whether is it a necessity. Okay, first you got to understand, is it necessary to have a surface blowdown? Why do you give surface blowdown? Now you give surface blowdown in order to control certain parameters within a certain range. Okay, जैसे कि हम high pressure power boilers की बात कर रहे थे, जिधर पे TDS makes a very high impact on the superheater coil. Couple of days back. If you are in the group, that was a very interesting conversation we had. So अगर उस तरीके का है, तो the moment a TDS goes high, उसको निकालना जरूरी है. Okay, if your TDS is going very high, it is in an uncontrollable range, then surface blowdown certainly makes lot of impact. Okay, it's very high impact if your TDS is going very high. If your TDS is not high, okay, then your perspective of seeing the surface blowdown will have to come from how much blowdown you have to give. What is your cycles of concentration? जब भी आप नीचे से bottom blowdown देते हैं, it is an uncontrolled blowdown. So you are actually letting out some good quality water along with the bad quality salt that is accumulated. तो जो भी sludge accumulate होता है, उसके साथ बहुत सारा पानी भी बाहर जाता है. So that's a loss. In order to minimize this loss, surface blowdown is recommended, but then the cost of operation depends on the cycles of concentration. अगर surface blowdown आपका application में really is it viable, somebody will have to calculate and then take a decision. Don't blindly go and take surface blowdown. It may not help if you are having a good quality water, and if your usage or your boiler load is not that high, it fluctuates between 50 to 60% if it is not that high, then the cost may not be justifiable. But let us do a proper calculation. We will try to cover this in one of the webinars. It is also a fantastic topic to be covered. What should be the optimum steam to fuel ratio be? Wow, this is $1 million question. We will certainly touch upon it. It's a part of one of the hacks in order to maintain your boiler efficiency. we will look at it. But जो भी आपको आइडियल फिगर्स मिलता है एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द बॉयलर के हिसाब से कैलकुलेट करके people will say 4.8, 5.9, if it is furnace oil, 13, 13.8, some of the figures, which come. We will look at how this figure comes and what is the reality. That's good. Please wait for this. Keep looking at our webinar. In the coming weeks, we are going to cover this particular thing. I find that to be the last question which is published. Let us wait for a couple of more minutes if some other questions are going to come. It's very good. I see a lot of questions from the operation perspective, which is good to see. A lot of operating people are getting on to looking at our webinar. It's nice. Again, I request you all, please, give your feedback. It's very, very important. That is where you will learn, I will learn, and everybody else can learn.
Right, great, Dhananjay. So, yeah, I see one more question which has come before we go. Yeah.
How to calculate blowdown losses? Yes, calculating blowdown loss we will touch. Please hold on. It needs a lot of understanding before you get into blowdown loss. As I said, blowdown losses are calculated by the cycles of concentration. So we got to understand what is cycles of concentration. Based on that cycle of concentration, how much amount of water you are ideally supposed to leave out, and thereby calculate the blowdown loss. We will come to that. That calculation we will cover in our webinars to come.
Okay, great. So I see, Dhananjay, a lot of questions being asked around calculations and probably the procedures and other things. So let's plan to touch upon those aspects through probably some tools or something which can be effective for the members to understand it in a easier way, and probably they get a feel of what is the overall industry standards and other things as well. So thank you everyone, and thank you Dhananjay for again a very interesting session. And this comes to a place now where we have rest of the Sunday to spend on. So we again request you to help us to understand the timings and the topics in order to basically enhance the effectiveness of the time which we are spending together. We are going to shortly propose the digital roundtables as well, where we are going to have only discussions rather than having a monologue. We are trying to convert it into a more dialogue kind of a format for all of you to be more participative and probably gain more from the same time. So improving the time value, I would say, or the efficiency in the day-to-day routine as well. So thank you everyone, and I wish you a great weekend and have a great week ahead. Thanks a lot.
Thank you everyone.